So let's go to Missy from Charlottesville, Virginia. Missy, how you doing? What do you got?
Oh, hey there, Dan. First, I want to say, love your show. I watch you every single night.
Thank you.
But I have to say, I am appalled at your dismissive nature about the hog tie picture. I find it absolutely outrageous. Look at the violence that we have had with storming the Capitol, threatening to kill Mike Pence, breaking into Nancy Pelosi's home and attacking her husband. This violence is creeping up and up and up, and this picture is emblematic of that.
But what do you make of my distinction in saying the difference with January 6th is that it was basically a call to action? That there was this lie, the election was stolen, and that's what led people to actually go, not some picture of a guy with Secret Service protection on the back of a car.
Yeah, I'm finding you're paralleling these two things very strange. January 6th was an absolute insurrection. Whether they thought the election was overturned, to go and storm the United States Capitol, right, injure people, break into offices, and threaten to kill the vice president is just unbelievable.
I'm not defending. Wait. Somehow you're interpreting what I just said as somehow defending what happened on January 6th. I'm doing just the opposite. I'm saying that what happened on January 6th was an abomination, but that I don't think that the comparison. What do you make of my distinguishing that?
You see, I think that you got to spend more time with the Trump supporters. And I think what Missy's trying to say to you, he's green lighting violence, okay? And when you have a leader that's going to be the commander-in-chief potentially of the American military, green lighting violence and demonstrating it, it is a very bad signal to his supporters. And what Missy's concerned about, and she should be, frankly, is that I know some of these people and I know what they're capable of. And I've experienced the ugly side of speaking out and being a Trump critic. I've experienced
right.
And it's a very nasty.
But have you experienced violence?
The threat of it.
Yeah, I get the threat of it all the time. I mean, just because you're a public figure, you get the threat of it.
I understand that, but I don't want you to be. I mean, again, you can do whatever you want. It's your show, but I don't want you to be overly dismissive of what Missy's saying, because what Missy's saying, it's her intuition, it's her gut, that is a green light for lunatics that support Donald Trump to hurt the president. And if they're not going to hurt the president, they may end up hurting somebody else in his way that's very innocent.
I got it.
Moreover, she also knows, I mean, I don't want to speak for her, but if Trump loses the election, he's going to say that it was stolen.
There's no doubt about that.
And we're going to go back into this whole violence thing again, because that's him. That's what he's about. Ask Mark Meadows. You can't get Mark Meadows to sit in this seat, but he is the chief witness for the prosecution on the insurrection case. They got him. Yeah. They got him saying stuff that fomented violence, and I don't think Missy or I want that. I think it's a bad signal.
Right. The problem is...
Thank you, Missy, for having my back.
Yes, exactly. The problem is that I think you got to pick and choose your battles. If everything is January 6th, if every dumb comment he makes is January 6th, people are going to ignore it.
I am Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now, okay? We're going to napalm this guy. He is Agent Orange, okay? And we need to napalm this guy until he is out of commission.
Rose is in Illinois. Rose, what do you got? Rose, you there?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. My concern is, what about all these military-age single men that are coming over the border, and we don't know anything about them, and I'm hearing they're going to being trained and all that, and they're going to be Biden loyalists, and if Trump gets into office, what kind of havoc are they going to cause? Probably worse than Antifa.
I don't know what the training is that you're hearing about, but what do you make of that?
Well, I think this is the both sides argument, and I think what Rose is basically saying is that we have a huge border problem, and there's potential danger at the border that can also lead to violence. And so, Rose, I hear you. I think we have to solve that problem at the border. And again, I always want to be objective. They had a deal on the table. The Republicans negated the deal because Trump told them to. but the president could revoke some of those executive orders. He signed a massive amount of them in January of 2021. He could just go back on those.
Biden could, yeah.
But he won't do it. Again, he's very, very worried about the woke left on his left side here and a fractious coalition that he needs to carry over to the finish line to win the election. But if he were thinking about policy in terms of what's right or wrong, as opposed to left or right, he would listen to people like Rose, and he would revoke those executive orders. And by the way, I think that would score him a lot of points with the independents.
Yeah, I think so too. Rose, thank you. Anthony Scaramucci. Sir?
It's good to be here.
Good to see you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.